guys, it's Adam again. I'm continuing on with my series on young adult eating, for college students, for people who are young and don't totally know what to eat right now and are just curious about staying healthy from a young age. So this video is about what my opinion of a healthy diet should consist of. To me, it's not entirely specific about what a healthy diet should be based off of who you are, what your blood type is, what your metabolic typing is, um, what your, I've only heard about this a little bit, but I'm looking into it more, what your heritage is, where you geographically came from, and what types of food they ate, also determine what is a healthy diet for you. Because there's no generic cookie cutter pattern that I could be like, okay, eat this much of this a day, this much of this a day, this much of this a day. Some things work for others, some things don't. So, what I would recommend is a lot of experimentation. I talked about the blood types, the different types of blood types in my video on how to gain lean muscle mass, and I also covered metabolic typing a bit in there. I'm going to expand on those two in another video that's going to be entirely specific just to those. But look into those, look into what works for you, because just because you have a certain blood type doesn't mean that it's going to be specific to who you are. And again, look into your heritage. Like if you are, from, I don't know, if you're from, for example, like the Congo, you might have eaten a lot of bananas in your diet. I really have no idea what people eat in the Congo. I mean, I know that some cultures, oh shoot, what culture was it? They ate everything of the pig. Like, oh yeah, Okinawa diet. The Okinawans, it's one of the largest islands in Japan, of like the Ryaku Islands, I think. And they didn't eat a whole lot of rice. They didn't eat a whole lot of pork. They had, the majority of their calories came from carbohydrates. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was potatoes. I don't know how they got potatoes over there. But, anyways, yeah, so experiment with that. Figure that out. Figure out what works for you and what makes you feel good. What makes you really feel good. And you can also use something that's called the ANDI score. It's in a book. Well, it's created by a guy who wrote the book Eat Right America. Can't remember his name. And I'm going to put a link to his website down below, so you guys can use that. The good thing about that score, or scoring system for food, is that it shows you what the nutrient densities of different foods are, based on their nutrient to calorie ratio. So ones that are higher up, near the ceiling of that score, is 1,000. Things like kale or mustard greens. Leafy vegetables basically have really high scores usually. Unfortunately, not many people like them, but if you eat them for a while, people say it takes 21 try. You have to try food 21 times, different occasions, to begin to develop a taste for it. So just keep at it until you can either, just swallow it without really enjoying it, but you just do it whatever, or until you really do enjoy it. But try and get things that are really high up into your diet and begin eliminating the things that are down low. For example, things you would think are pretty high up. An apple, I believe, is below a score of 200, somewhere in between 100 and 200. I think in the mid 100s. Or like a salmon. Salmon I've always thought is a really healthy animal product. Somewhere in the 70s. I'm not exactly sure if that relates to where it's from and how it's been bred, but regardless of that, try and get more foods that have a higher score on that list. And also just try and get more vegetables into your diet. I don't think people really eat enough vegetables. I'm not saying you have to go vegetarian or vegan. They're decent, well, they're very healthy lifestyles, if you do them correctly. And then another facet of what I consider a healthy diet isn't necessarily what people usually consider to be a piece of diet, or, like how you eat. It's how you not eat. Intermittent fasting. I've done a video on this. it does so many different things for you. For example, one benefit to me, I am genetically predispositioned to get Alzheimer's in the future. My grandmother died of it, and I think there were a couple other people on my father's side as well who died of it. So, one benefit to intermittent fasting, helps my neurons become more resistant to excitotoxicity, I believe the word is. Meaning that, like, if your neurons get overloaded with glutamine, it kills them. Excitotoxicity. They get excited by glutamine, which is a sugar. And so, or well, it's an energetic substance. Okay, I'm not sure if it's definitely a sugar, a carbohydrate. Anyways, so intermittent fasting. Really look into it. I'm going to elaborate. I'm just going to mention it all the time because I think there's so many benefits to it. Unless you have a really severe condition that really prevents you from doing so. And then one way I think that really tells you that you have a healthy diet is your poop. It's a exact story of what is going on in your digestive tract, which to me means a healthy diet. So if your digestive tract is healthy, it's clean, and it operates at a very high efficiency because you give it good foods and you take care of all your little buddies in there, all your little bacteria, and keep the good ones, get rid of the bad ones. Occasionally give it a break with intermittent fasting. Then your poop should look pretty good. You should have what is generally what people really say is a good standard is around 6 inches, nice even color, smooth, no jagged surfaces or anything. Because that really means that your digestive tract is functioning well. Because if, for example, you do rabbit droppings, it means you're dehydrated. Totally forgot that part. Drinking a lot of water. I personally have to drink up to 1 gallon a day on work days and when I work out. On days when I work out. And on days when I don't, about 64 ounces of water, 8-ounce cups. So, nutrient-dense food, intermittent fasting, lots of water, and after you begin to do that and begin to experiment with what works for you based on your blood type, heredity, and nutrition, or your typing, your metabolic typing, then take a look at your poop. And really begin to see, okay, I'm a little far off, or this one thing I ate, you can kind of tell chronologically what happens. This end came out first. This end, is all lumpy, dehydrated. I need to drink more water consistently throughout the day. Or, I ate this one thing and I can still see it in my poop and it didn't come out. It just didn't get digested. So that doesn't really work for me. Or maybe I need to chew it more. Just take a look at that, take a look at those things, and get back to me with how you think it's going, how you are experiencing things and what is working for you, what isn't. I'd love to hear back from you guys on that one. That would really, really help me out. But I'll talk to you guys next time.